Second qualifier for the Masters Clash, everybody. Qualifier number 1 qualified the Khaldor directly for the main event in Paris, in France. Well, for the playoffs at least, not necessarily for the finals. But we are heading into qualifier number 2 now, and we got Team Kayak, who should be familiar from the first qualifier, going up against the Bang Bush. And this is a pretty interesting mixed team. So we got the Swedes in full force once again. Lauber, Skok, Enabler, Junkrat, and Henning are playing here. So I actually like it. This is a cool thing about having tournaments just like, you know, pop up every now and then and not just like running a long, massive league. You always have teams that mix a little bit. And yeah, what can I say? I'm a fan. This is looking pretty awesome. This is looking fun. I want to see how far they can go. Now keep in mind, with the Khaldor's qualifying last week in the first qualifier, that also means, of course, that Team has not qualified yet. They came in 3rd place, if I'm not mistaken, in the qualifier. So they have another shot today to qualify directly for the playoffs. Now, if you're not really familiar with the format, a quick reminder, these are all best of 2 matches. So we have a group phase on the first day of the qualifier, and then on the second day of the qualifier, the top 2 teams from each group advance to a bracket. So we are then going to play the semifinals, the grand final, and the 3rd place decider. The team that wins the qualifier qualifies directly, and the other 3 teams gain points for the standings. In total, we have 4 qualifiers, ergo 4 teams qualify directly for the playoffs, and the other 4 teams are taken from those standings. So here on day 1, we have best of 2 matches. That means if you win best of 2 with 2-0, you get 3 points. If you tie with your opponent, each of you gets 1 point. And if you lose, I mean, you get nothing. So that's pretty much what's going to happen here. So a little bit of a round robin that we have in each one of the groups, and this is the first match. That means obviously also that there's a lot of games that are being played at the same time, so we can only focus on one. I'm going to try to pick the teams that seem the most interesting and the matches that seem the most promising, but we'll see how it goes there. Now, we already have the Blaze Band out, but we got on the picks here for Battlefield of Eternity an early Hanzo for the blue team, as they're of course trying to get the Immortal damage connected, and the Li Ming and a Nuburak combo. So with the Nuburak, you deny to the opponent so that you're not going to end up in a situation where, well, Li Ming counters a Nuburak more than a Nuburak counters Li Ming. Back in the days, it was like always, especially in Plastic League, this thought process, oh my god, yes, Beatles, Li Ming is useless. Because she can't hit anything. It's obviously total shit. So in reality, it's Li Ming that with a quick disintegrate burns a Nuburak's cocoon down within seconds and always wins the cooldown trade on the heroic. And the good Li Ming player will play around the Beatles pretty quickly. So there's that. But yeah, in this case, Ana gets banned so that there's no nano-boosted Li Ming. You don't want her to completely pop off here. With Diablo already taken, they at least denied Urel. And it's actually kind of cool that we also have Junkrat, for example, over on the red team side. By the way, there's a couple of people that always like ask, hey, why do you call him Junkrat? His nickname is Junkrat. Pretty much because he has the GG, the Granite Gaming tag, at the front of his nickname. He didn't have enough letters left to fully spell his nickname out, and that's why he changed a little bit, but his actual nickname is Junkrat, so that's why. Master Chips with a Hogger, we got Link on Brightwing, and that leaves us with a double pick for the red team, the Bang Bush. I was always wondering what they're doing in these bushes. Rexa and Greymane. It's a full zoo over there. We got Rhaegar in as well. The only one that's missing is Bambi pretty much, so alright. And to the left, Pepe Hands. What are we gonna get for the last pick for them? The boys need a little bit more damage, as it seems. Could go full triple melee on us. But, yep, let's have a quick look there. There's Bambi. Okay, Lunara is in the house. Yeah, it's pretty much a big zoo in here on Battlefield of Eternity. Map number 1, so let's go. Masters Clash qualifier number 2. Game on! First game in the series. We got Master Chips here in Battlefield of Eternity on the left side with Hogger. J-Hard on Li Ming. We got Brightwing played by Link. Pepe Hands is playing Lunara. Torjan on Nuburak, and over on the right side of the map we got Henning for the Bang Bush on Rhaegar and Abla on Greymane. Lau is playing at the front line with Diablo. We got Skok on Hanzo, and Junkrat is playing Rexa in this first game of the series. So yeah, the BB boys over there. Let's see. Can they win the first map here? Kayak was actually very surprising. It was a little bit wild because there's so many games that are played at the same time in this particular system that they're using for the Masters Clash qualifier on the first day. You only get a very small glimpse into what's going on here in the groups, and I honestly didn't think that Kayak was doing that well on the first qualifier, and then it turned out that they actually had a very, very solid run in the group, so they might be able to cause a couple of upsets here. We'll see. I mean, obviously, the boys on the right side of the map, they are quite experienced and have been playing together in the past quite a lot, but as you can see, at least the early game looks pretty good for Team Kayak. Yeah, they're paddling their way to victory again, as it seems. Well, some solid work over here. Able to get the damage out right here in the choke point and also damage structures, so nicely done. And well, there we go. Can they do a little bit more here? Lauber maybe might be a bit exposed, but now with Junkrat moving in, they should have a shot. All the way up towards the top, we got Enabler. And he's already making his plays against Hogger, but they really need to change things up a little bit if they want to now go for the camps. Because at the 1 minute mark, you have the camps obviously spawning, and then it's always a question, do you go into an even fight at any point here? Or do you, for example, just try and go for an even exchange? One team focuses on the bottom camp, the other one on the camp at the top. And it seems to be what's happening here. They rotated 2 of their heroes towards the top side camp, and obviously they're outmatching Hogger here. But that also means that at the bot lane, the blue team has the upper hand and can now easily go for it. The problem is that they are rotating away from it, and that's now free damage on the wall. And with the Nubarak moving in with Beetles, they take the tower shots. And then you have Lunara and Li Ming. That's a lot of DPS on structures. So, yep, that's the first tower gone. And the Bang Bush might have miscalculated a little bit over here. I don't know, so... That's interesting. I mean, Henning is also low on his Rhaegar, jumps in for some extra damage on a Nubarak. But it's Bambi that dies first. She got Hanzo'd hard. The hunter saw the deer and went in and put some meat on the dinner table. Not too shabby. Good job by Skog. But yeah, if not for Lunara getting Hanzo'd over here, this would have been a massive victory for the blue team. But I guess it still is, because the entire wall is open. So that's pretty good start in structural damage for Team Kayak. On the left side, it's obviously time now to go quite quickly for the Shaman camp with another 15 seconds left before the Immortal is popping up. You want to get this one on lane as quickly as you can. Both of the teams are already working on that. But with the first objective, we're also going to have the first big team fight probably happening. And that will show us a bit where this is headed. There's the engage. Okay, they're trying to make the play for Lauber. Good polymorph. Can they get the damage out? I don't really think so. It's a lot of damage, don't get me wrong. But it's not enough to take him down. But they are getting some really good damage at the bottom fort. So they lost the halftime show and they gave that up. But if they can get even more work done here, that would be a problem. Okay, Tarjan was trying to... they're trying to take Diablo down. Lauber dodged that nicely. They expected him to retreat and he just didn't. And now Li Ming is dead. Lunara doesn't give a shit, by the way. She's just going for the fort. Torjan is dead too, so that's 2 gone. But we are early on in the game. Guys, those 2 kills mean nothing. Link dying is maybe a little bit too much here, so that's the 3rd one gone. But they destroyed the entire fort. Now, it's a big Immortal that they also face off against, but even if it's just a trade in forts, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Depends a little bit on how quickly they can catch up in experience, though. Losing 4 heroes in total is obviously quite annoying. Losing 3 in that last encounter might have been a little bit too much. If they just sacrificed 1 or 2, that's one thing. But now they just have to show that they can defend here. If they're able to defend and just take the Immortal down and hold on to the fort, then technically they're even a bit ahead. But it's the experience gap now that they have to bridge. So the sacrifice might be worth it. It all hinges on the question of how well they're defending now. And up to this point, they're burning the shield down quickly, but obviously their wall falls too. And given how the Bang Bush is currently pushing here, I would say they have a shot at taking that fort down for sure. Lunara is just popping the damage over time, but with Hogger now ping-ponging around and Rexa moving topside, the fort holds. The fort is still in. So the fort is still there, not even down to 50% HP. The experience lead obviously is still in favor of the red team, but structurally that's a nice advantage that we now have for them. Good save on the Nubarak, but that got a bit close. Brightwing had to move in. Li Ming is still poking. And where's the damage of Lunara at this point? She seems to be doing fairly well for herself. Yes, 13,000 already. Lauber bullying the front line here. Yeah, the OG bully. Garrosh and Diablo just throwing people around, you know, just body checking them, stuffing nerds into lockers all day, every day. Okay, so going around, giving everybody wedgies. That's exactly what they've been doing. It honestly would have been nice, you know, if Blizzard would have just abandoned the stupid lore idea and instead would have given us comics or something, cartoons, of all of the heroes in high school. That would have been amazing. Can you imagine like a cartoon with like Baby Diablo or something along those lines, or like Mini Diablo in High School Diablo, anything like that, and just interactions between the heroes? That would have been kind of fun. But yeah, either way, as it stands, Hogga is the only one that hasn't fallen yet. The problem for the blue team is that, of course, they gave up experience earlier. They are now trailing behind on level 10 for objective number 2. And that's a bit tricky. Now, they pushed out the bot lane a bit further so that they get extra XP, but they need to really catch up very quickly topside or it's going to be a problem. Quest completed for Dibbles at 620. Big hit point pull for him now, of course. So they take the camp at the top. Level 10 abilities are there. We get the bullet. And they can now work on the Immortal. I guess the halftime show is a done deal for the Bang Bush. We got Rhaegar with the Bloodlust. And now they're also locking in their own level 10. But they sacrificed the halftime show. We get Cocoon, we have the Shockwave. No surprise yet. Are we going to see any adjustments? Nope. Wave of 4, Sleeping Strike. And also Brighty with the quick heals right there. But yeah, either way, this is a bit of a moment of truth situation. So far we haven't seen a single kill for Team Kayak. And the Bang Bush is trying to sink that ship. They are going for their camp while they are defending their own Immortal. But that also gives some poke potential to the blue team, and they are willing to use that with Li Ming immediately. It's one of the reasons why you, of course, pick the hero on this map. Lauber is now starting to zone them out. Arrow connects. Lunara, oh dear, she has to be careful. So, here comes the next play. They are making engage for Hogga. The boars are being unleashed as well. Lauber, not in trouble yet. Torjan with his Anupurak has to dive out. He sits at the side. He's like, yeah, that's not going well. And there's the quick poke. Hanzo is just coming in with one volley after another. The engage on Lunara. And she is gone as the Cocoon is YOLO'd out. Torjan is diving back out and the Immortal is gone. Second Immortal for the red team. They still need to defend at the bot lane. The first catapult is doing a bit of damage towards that tower, but Dibbles should be able to deal with it. Topside pressure will likely result in the fort being eliminated. I mean, it's so close to being taken down already that I don't really think there's a way for the blue team to hold this one. The shield is pretty solid. Second Immortal, so it hasn't fully scaled yet, but still. Master Chips, oh my god, he got chunked down hard, and he's not the only one. Link goes down. Bullet to the face. And that just shows once again what an amazing shot Greymane is, that he can hit a fruit fly from that distance with a bullet. But damn. Barbecue on Lunara. Ah, that meat is well done. I can tell you that much. And that's 7 kills to 0. So the early game gamble, taking down that fort and sacrificing a couple of heroes, doesn't seem to pan out for the blue team. Team Kayak is definitely having some problems here. They're trying to plug the holes and continue surviving, but it seems like that ship might be sinking sooner rather than later. We have level 13 talents now on the horizon for the Bang Bush. And that is another talent advantage. So they're still maintaining that level advantage that they had already earlier. And coming back here will be difficult. I mean, you have to somehow get a few kills in. And I'm not even counting Misha here. So, yeah. What do we have in terms of damage? I mean, Bambi is sitting at 25,000. Li Ming at 20k. So they're all way ahead of what we're seeing from the Bang Bush. But it's just not enough. Damage is nice when you can poke it out and try and pat your stats a little bit, but that doesn't do anything for you if you're not able to get those kills locked in. And up to now, blue team wasn't able to get a single one. 27,000 now for Lunara. She was nearly taken out in that last little encounter here. Goal for the blue team is, of course, to get level 13 and then make a play But they are now behind in structures, they're behind in kills, they're behind in experience, they're behind in every single aspect of the game. Yeah. Gonna be dicey. Hogger's still a survivor, by the way. Yeah, Master Chips has so far not fallen even once. Yeah, and it is immortal time once again. So, can they pull that off? That's the question. Can they move in and take that one out? Yes or no? We'll see. Because right now, the situation as is actually pretty simple. We have current... I mean, this is more or less the last chance, in my opinion. If you don't at least get a few kills here and lock that Immortal in, then how are you going to come back? You're most likely going to lose a keep. You will have level 16 against you, so this could really snowball very, very quickly. And it's one of the few opportunities that we're seeing for Team Kayak to bring this one back. And they have a chance to do it, so don't get me wrong. If they have a good team fight here, they can definitely bring this back. They destroyed one fort already. If they win an Immortal, there's a good shot that they take out the one at the top two, and that would put them even in structures with the Bang Bush. Now, once again, the reminder, this is actually a best of 2, so it's all about how many maps can you win. It's not only about are you deciding the series in your favor, yes or no. Yeah, Torjan flipped out of the Immortal Stun actually, but it doesn't help him. He goes down. Good engage from Lauber, and Greymane followed up on it. So that's the Nubura gone, and this is just not working out for them. They are completely on the run. They're in the choke point. They're chased all over the place. First kill up to Link. Bambi is dead. And the only survivor down here. Well, Hogger is also still on the run. Seems like Li Ming is not going to make it either. Rhaegar. There's the bite. Good doggy. Good doggy. And Master Chips is still the only survivor in this. Bullet barely missing, but he gets out. It's still level 16 that they hold here. So we got now level 16 talents for the Bang Bush. 11 kills to 0, by the way. Which is just wild when you think about it. 11 to 0. Over on the right side, we have Henning going for the camp. The team is going for the Immortal. It's not quite going to be 100% on the shield, but it's going to be close. And yeah, that should at least be a keep. I would be shocked if it wasn't. 23,000. I mean, again, look at the damage. It's another indicator that you don't always need to have top damage in the game. It's honestly one of those things that's always a little bit irritating. You have no idea how many times there's a certain draft that pans out, or you upload a video, and then all of a sudden people are complaining. It's like, they had no damage. People just don't really understand how you can actually coordinate attacks properly, and even when you're not matching your opponent's damage output, you're going to be in a really, really good spot there. It's one of those things that oftentimes gets YOLO'd out by people that are watching, you know, when there's like a triple frontline, for example. And yeah, CC is oftentimes everything. I mean, in this case, they have plenty of each. They have a lot of CC, they have a lot of stuns. They obviously play around with Lauber's tankiness to the front a lot and dominate the fights through that. And Nuburak, the way that they're engaging is just a bit off. They need to really drive the fight. They can't just simply sit there and get poked. And Nuburak is not a sustain tank. If you play him, you need to adjust the playstyle a bit more than they are currently doing. And they are paying the price for it. They're really having a tough time with that front line on the Bang Bush. So now the keep is down, and it seems like this could honestly be game because of... I mean, they're aiming for core here. They're trying to lock the first victory in this series. Already catapults are moving in. The core is falling. Guys, that's just lights out. Game number 1 taken by the Bang Bush as Lauber and his boys lock in a victory in Battlefield of Eternity. And we're moving on to game number 2. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Alderac Pass, a second map at the Bang Bush with a banging game number 1. So let's see if they can make this a quick 2-0 and lock those 3 points in, or if it's going to be a 1-1 tie between the two teams and each one of them gets a point. Again, this is a best of 2, not a best of 3. Okay, it didn't really work out for Team Kayak. I mean, they got a little bit ruffle-stomped over there. Pretty much, I mean, nearly a perfect game for the Bang Bush. Especially in the team fights. The red team was just excelling compared to what we saw from the boys in blue. But now the second chance, Alderac Pass. So first pick, first ban for the Bang Bush. Meaning the blue team actually decided in favor of picking the map over having first pick, first ban. If it's going to be successful for them or not is a different question. So let's have a quick look here. We got Genji banned again. And what's interesting to me also is one of the things you gotta keep in mind. Junkrat is also known to sometimes just go for more out-of-the-box heroes. I mean, he's the guy that on Tomb of the Spider Queen multiple times, you know, just picked a Murky, for example. So I wouldn't put it past them to at some point really go a bit into heroes like that and just YOLO those out. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Now we got Johanna banned as well. Muradin has been banned. This is the Lauba respect ban. Lauba loves to play with Muradin, so therefore the Muradin ban. And Rhaegar now also eliminated. I mean, again, he's really good for the camp, so when you're talking about the camp in the mid lane, he can help with that as well. But yeah. What else? First pick. What are we getting here? We get a Junkrat. Junkrat for Enabler. Now, there has been no global ban yet. Falstad and Dehaka are both up. Likely going to be picked here. If you're playing on a big map like this, normally you want to go for rotations. Lucio would help, and yeah, that's what Link is picking. So Lucio speeds the rotations up. That makes it a lot more dangerous whenever you are alone on a solo lane and you don't really know where your opponent is. All of a sudden, you know, you get ganked up. And there's a quick kill and they move back onto the objective, onto a boss or what have you. Dehaka, still a good choice for the side lane. Brightwing in this case for a bit of global pressure. You could also go for Falstad, of course, if you wanted to. And yeah, let me see what we're going to get for bans. Now is obviously a time where you could also eliminate some of those globals. That's another one. Banning some Grotta out, maybe. Yeah, they ban Blaze. So they go for the side lane now, but they leave the Haka open. They already got their Hogger. So there's a chance. With a Nubarak, of course, Yrel would pair extremely well with him too, if you want to go for the engage. You got the mobility on that end as well. So we might actually see a game where the Haka isn't even picked, even though he's available. But we still have Falstad as a potential pick for the teams. Unless, of course, somebody wants to go completely bonkers, go for the Vikings or what have you. Yeah, Dibble's banned out. So what's it going to be at the front line for them now? We got Garrosh, for example, still up. It's a lot of frontline bans. Muradin, Diablo, and Johanna are all banned, and you have Garrosh eliminated too. Sorry, you have Anubarak eliminated because he was already picked by the blue team. So there's still plenty of options. I mean, we're not running out of tanks anytime soon. But some of the most popular ones are already, at least in this game, banned out. They go for Tyrael. Ooh, Vala. Are we gonna get a double support here? Look at that. Tyrael and Vala with Lucio. Are we getting a double support? Is that gonna be an auto attack style? Or are we just seeing some wave clear, maybe even an arrow build to deal with the boss? That's actually an interesting touch. I don't know why, but for some reason I didn't expect the Vala pick right now. Okay. We got our double pick on the right side. Yes, Yrel is expected, and here comes Falstad. So we get the global. We don't have the Haka, because again, with the Nubarak, Yrel is just way better here. And now the final pick. The moment of truth. Double support, yes or no? I mean, you don't necessarily have to go for a second healer. You could also go for, I don't know, normally we're thinking Zarya, we're thinking Medivh, something along those lines. Anything with a shield, but that would make for a wild comp. So let's see what the plan is. What are we going to get from Jayhart here on the final pick? And it is Deathwing. Alright, so no double support Vala. Might still go into the auto attack, time will tell. But we had it for Alderac Pass, everybody. Map number 2 in this series at the Masters Clash Qualifier number 2. Second game of the series, and we're starting things off on Alderac Pass with Master Chips on Hogger. Again, for the second time in a row. We got Jayhart on Deathwing, Link on Lucio, currently have Pepe Hands on Vala, and Torjan on Tyrael. Over on the right side of the map, it's Lauba with the Nubarak this time. We got Svamkrota on Yrel, Henning on Brightwing, and Abler is playing Junkrat and Skog on Falstad. And Vala, look at that, even with a solo support plus Tyrael. Queen of the Hunter on level 1. So, nice, nice. Let's see what they can do with that. So Gora riding into battle on his golden cock. And at the same time, we have the chicken skin. Never go full turkey, baby. You don't want to go for the turkey skin with Deathwing. It's just disrespectful. You have a majestic dragon with so many cool skins and tints and whatnot, and then you just turn him into a turkey. It's just not cool. I mean, it's a big nope from my end. The only thing I can say here is... yeah, like, I'm sorry, but that's a massive fail right there. That's not how we do this. So, down at the bottom of the map, already a bit of action is happening, and Vala gets attacked, and yeah, you don't want to die there with the auto attack. It's actually a bit of a ballsy pick, honestly. Vala is so good, even with an arrow build or with a multi-shot build, that I am honestly surprised they went for auto attack here. I thought once that they didn't lock in a second support or someone that could help her out, I really expected multi-shot or arrow. If you go for an arrow build here, you still can do a lot. You're really quick and helpful when it comes to the camp in the mid lane. You can go for a quicker boss. You get a lot of value also in the team fights. So we've seen it in the past. But there's obviously... I mean, it's hunting season right now. They want Pepe hands. They want to take those Gambit stacks away from him. And he only had 4 auto attacks so far. Only 4. That's all that he got here. So, yeah. Trying to go for that. And what do we got at the mid lane? The camp's already taken. As I keep repeating, this is one of the most important things when you're playing on Alderac Pass. Always take it whenever it's off cooldown. Okay, Svamkarota moving into battle again. And yeah, the dream of every... oh, well. False that. Hello. Alrighty. So they're actually getting quite a bit of pressure here in the mid lane. Yeah, quite a lot of it. They might be able to take one of the towers down. I mean, look at that. Damage on both, as they are both getting dropped roughly to 50% HP. So they might, with another shot, be able to take that thing down completely. And here comes the dream of every KFC manager. I mean, imagine hunting that thing down. That's like KFC buckets for days. I mean, you have to not worry about resupply or anything. Truckers... protesting and striking, no issue whatsoever. You get yourself one Deathwing and you're set for a couple of months. I mean, that's a lot of chicken wings right there. I mean, look at that thing. Like, that thing for Thanksgiving, whew! Like, you can feed, like, a couple of families with that. I mean, no, I don't really care how many family members you have. But you get that thing on the dinner table and you are set for days. World hunger ends right here. 17 stacks? Look at how deep they're diving. And try to go for Augur. I mean, they might be overdoing it a little bit at this point. Lauber is all of a sudden low, and he's not the only one. They might get a double kill out of this. Brightwing is down, and I guess Lauber is eventually going to die too, diving into towers, which is the only thing that he can do here. And that's the end of him. Yeah, slightly confused. So are we all. You might have gone a bit too deep. And that gives Vala finally an opportunity to get a few stacks together. So we have Pepe hands on 32. Closing in on level 7. But yeah, that little Sudoku move that we saw from the red team might not have been the biggest one. We get the Dirty Trickster over here. We also got the secret weapon. And Vala with the Hot Pursuit on level 7. The Seeing Red. Deathwing, obviously, he's still enjoying himself between the mid and the top lane. And Skork is trying to now capitalize on the fact that they have that global. I mean, get some value, right? As the chips is starting to counteract that, Vala still needs to stack a little bit more to get the first quest reward here, but at least she hasn't died yet, so that means that we have, at this point, all of the Gambit stacks still available. And to be honest, if you are just able to keep the Gambit stacks, once that you reach level 16, you are just murdering people with Manticore. So if Pepe Hands plays this just really slow and doesn't focus on stacking too much, that's totally fine. If you're playing a solo support Vala with auto attack, you really want to focus on not losing your stacks. So yes, if you can stack level 1, that's great. But you don't have to go crazy. There's always people that believe, hey, if I don't get my level 1 auto attack stacks quickly, then I'm useless. But that's absolutely not true. If you just don't die and you have the auto attack speed and then can work with Manticore on 16 and then maybe even get Farflight Quiver on level 20, you can, through level 16 synergy, body people completely. So anything else is a bonus. So for Pepe Hands, just playing slow is totally cool. There's a lot of people that, you know, they get impatient and then they go a little bit too deep and then they all of a sudden start dying. And once you die 2-3 times, that is a different story. Then you really, really want to counterbalance that by having stacks through the auto attacks on the level 1 talent. But right now, things are completely fine for the blue teams. If they continue at that pace, it's going to be solid for them. So yeah, we got still a bit of poking around here in the mid lane. The defense, of course, set up. The blue team is a little bit late on these rotations towards the camp and getting those. And at least right now, the Bang Bush is trying to go for the first objective. They have a slightly faster level 10, for what it's worth. But he should be level 10 in just a second for Team Kayak. So let's see if they contest this. They themselves also got a bit of progress towards objective number 1. Yeah, we got Sanctification, Vala with the Rain of Vengeance, Shockwave, and they're starting to make their play. And Pepe Hands has the first quest reward. First quest reward is in, a little bit late on that Rain of Vengeance though, so they didn't get the value on it. And I don't know if these are fast enough. 2 seconds! Alright, there we go. So they retook the camp. Nothing lost just yet. Vala's a little bit far out. Has to be very careful here. Tries to maybe be a bit too aggressive. Sanctification is out, but they're still slightly caught. They gotta be careful. Moving back out. Good damage from Vala. Good stacks too, but he's completely caught. And again, Vala should try to not die. Oh, the shield! Oh my god! Oh boy, he's alive! How the fuck did he survive? Dude, get the hell out of there! I like that you try to go for the camp, but just don't die, bro. Seriously, 71 stacks right now. How is Pepehan still in this game? He should have died at least 3 times in that last engage. It's maybe the chicken that goes down first. The turkey's eliminated. They got the objective, though, so that's a big win in and of itself, and they also made their way out of the fight. Insane that he didn't fall. Oh boy, the adrenaline push on this one. Wow. Alright, alright, alright. Good job for Vala. 74 stacks now. Lots of damage at the bot lane though. Skog played the global properly. Now they are still trying to push this with the objective. And this all of course helps the goal to scale into the late game. If you can just scale into the late game slowly and deny your opponent a couple of objectives in the early game, then you're going to be in a fantastic spot here. So yeah. Here we go. Next quick move is happening. Down at the bottom, what are we getting here? Trying to make a quick move for the bottom fort. At least take the wall down. Fort itself hasn't really been touched, but still. Just removing it from your opponent if you're attempting to play late game is already worth it. And here comes Deathwing. They're going deep. Nice Cocoon on Vala. That one was important, but still a few stacks here together against Lauber. Good stun too with the Rain of Vengeance. And Skork has to move in with his Gust to save the day for them. 2 kills to 1. Urel still at the top. You can tell that Bangbush is currently thinking about just trying to play macro a bit against them. They have 2 globals, they have Brightwing, and they have Falstad. Blue team can only counter with Deathwing. So yeah, this is good work done by Team Bangbush, trying to play the map rather than go into the team fights. And they're of course also realizing, as all of this continues, that things might get a little bit tricky in the later stages here. Yeah, with all of that said and done, we still have the mid lane to be dealt with. Now, the red team, as you can see, is doing a very good job about the camp, and the blue team isn't quite that diligent. They really need to prioritize this a little bit more, and they're currently not doing that, so that's a problem. It honestly is. So, yeah, gotta be careful with that. But on the other hand, down here at the bot lane, a few more stacks coming in for Pepe Hands. Yeah, gets all of those hits in. Second quest reward in a moment. And is he gonna get out here? Maybe not. The Riptire. Nice dodge. And he's alive. Tap the fountain too. And here we go. Good sanctification as well to save the rest of the team and allow Lucio to escape. They got their own level 13. We got the second stack acquired. And we have the Tempered by Discipline. Yeah, and then of course level 16 Manticore. So as I explained earlier, stacks are not that important for Vala as long as you keep the Gambit stacks. But she already has 2 quest rewards now, so that's nice. If you can go to number 3, that's of course also fantastic. Link is chasing Urel a bit, and this is a much better game, by the way, for Team Kayak than the first one. And on the side of the Bangbush, they still try to use Skok as best they can to push these side lanes. So they've done a lot of damage at the bottom fort. They do the same thing up at the top. Despite the fact that they lost the first objective, they are the ones ahead in structural damage. And they're ahead by an entire level. So these rotations on the lanes are working extremely well for them. Now Team Kayak is trying to counterplay that a bit by now going for the bot lane and claiming a boss. They should be able to pull that off too if they focus it quickly enough. Falstad is now slowly coming in. He has a gust, so they need to hurry a little bit. And yes, there it is. Well, stay there. Okay, boss is taken. Oh boy, they moved away a little bit too soon from that spot. Vala is still alive, takes down the cocoon, was targeted for Lucio, and that's not too bad. Vala is getting more stacks together, and even if Deathwing goes down here, as long as they save the rest of the team, they're fine. Yeah, Urel is gone. They need to defend the mid lane though, and even the top lane might be under pressure, so I guess this fort will fall. Level 16, very, very close now for the Bang Bush. And they're also going to defend the bot lane fort. So yeah, it's going to be a catch-up job for Team Kayak anyways. We got 32,000 damage by now for Vala, 33,000 for Junkrat. There's the level 16 talent, so now we have to play it a bit slow. And that's of course unfortunate since the objective is up on the map, which means that the Bang Bush is likely going to get the first objective here. They need 16 now. 16 is going to be a game changer for the blue team because of Manticore for Vala and of course all of the other power spikes that they have there as well. And once you have level 20, teamfights are going to be very, very good for Team Kayak. But as I explained a little bit earlier, the problem isn't necessarily that, because Team Bang Bush at some point will just switch to try and not fight. Oh my god. Swamgrotta! Solo kill against Hogger at the top lane. Oh boy, that shouldn't happen. But yeah, the Bang Bush is very likely transitioning towards playing the map even further in the late game, using Brightwing, mostly Falstad, to play these side lanes. But the question for now is really how much damage can they do with that objective? Because the fort is down, at the bottom, in the middle, at the top. And every single one eliminated. It's time for the defense. It's time for keeps to fall, potentially. But they get the experience here, or at least they should. So they get the damage out, they get the experience, and they have level 16. And then Vala can really capitalize on that auto attack speed that she still has. Hasn't died yet. Most important thing for her. So yeah, level 16, there it is. And that gives us, besides other things, the Burning Halo. Manticore is instantly taken. First one in the mid lane, they're already defending here. At the bottom of the map, the pressure continues too though. And here comes Vala. But yeah, they're gonna take this one down first. All the way up at the top. Doesn't really seem like this Raider is gonna get too much damage done, but in the middle of the map, that's a different story. Swamgrotta is already taking this down to 50% HP, and now that everybody is reacting to him, the rest of the team is moving in at the bot lane. Uh-oh, that was a good isolation. Nicely done by Junkrat. Real good job by Enabler. Great mind that he had there, and it isolated Hogger completely. We were able to take him down without anybody interfering, so now it's a 5 versus 4. But Vala, that Rain of Vengeance went nowhere. Vala is still in a spot where she can maybe turn the game. But look how they're playing. This is exactly what I said earlier. They're splitting the team. It's a 4-1 split pretty much the entire time. That gives them extra experience as they're going for the side lanes. It gives them pressure on the lanes that are not occupied by the 4-man. And that is working very well for them. Damage on all keeps by now. And nearly level 20. So the experience advantage that they have through that style of play is incredible. Take a look at the difference in minion experience. This is really where this comes all from. I mean, obviously there's some also in hero experience and whatnot, but it's the minion experience that really makes the big difference here. And that's just huge. And that is where the experience of Bang Bush kicks in. Obviously, a newly formed team, but all of these guys have played together at some point in the past. And now they're pushing the bot lane with their global. They're having a pressure play in the middle. When the blue team is a bit lost here, they are like, guys, we need to do something. So what do? They decide to go for the boss, which technically isn't really a bad move, but they are allowing for the big pressure in the middle and the top lane. Now we have Hogger attacked. The keep is going to fall here, and they're likely going to lose too now. So that boss is not going to do anything for you, really. But I assume they're also slightly afraid to go up against an opponent that is 3 levels ahead of them and has level 20. So just getting outplayed on the macro end, which is a little bit of a shame since they were very diligent about Vala and the experience, her not dying and getting to 16. but they're clearly getting out-rotated now. So they try to YOLO in. A little bit of a Sudoku move maybe by Deathwing. Here comes the play. Where's the sack that he needed? Got interrupted. And Deathwing is already dead. They're pushing it even further. Vala gets good damage out, but it's not good enough. It's not enough for her. She dies too as Falset locks in kill number 2. They're getting chased further. This looks very much like it might be game. Another death on the blue team. 8 deaths to 2. 2 of the armor shields have already been removed. And with this pressure in the mid lane, and another quick move thanks to the epic mount from Skok, this should be the end of the game and the series. A 2-0 victory is in reach for the Bang Bush, which would grant them 3 points for this group stage on day 1 of the second qualifier for the Masters Clash. Yeah, they go for Lulcio. Link, he might be able to run away, but he's not going to be able to stop what's happening on the left. Skok really wants the kill here. And, well, if he has a barrel roll, he's gonna get it. Cooldown isn't ready yet. They're still diving, but the core falls before he dies. And that is a 2-0 victory for the Bang Bush.